All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a question that, man, I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. It's a puzzle that seems so simple, but cracking it really unlocks how the whole digital world is put together.
I mean, have you ever done this? You search for something on Google, you know exactly what you mean, but the results you get back are just way off. It's so frustrating. Why is it so hard to get a straight answer sometimes?
Well, believe it or not, it all boils down to one single word. Ambiguity. That's it. This one idea is the ghost in the machine, it's the main reason our searches get all tangled up, and it's the biggest headache that search engines are always trying to solve. Okay, so let's really get into this, because, to figure out the solution, we first have to really get our heads around the problem itself.
This is the perfect example, right here. You type the word jaguar into a search bar. So what do you mean? Are you a zoology student researching this incredible big cat, or you may be daydreaming about a sleek, new luxury car? Without any more clues, the search engine, it's basically just flipping a coin. It has to guess.
In the world of search, ambiguity is the ultimate enemy. A search engine really only has one job: get you the right information. But when one little word could mean two completely different things, the whole process just grinds to a halt. So if that's the problem, how in the world do we fight back against all this confusion? Well, the solution is actually pretty old school. It means we have to stop thinking like computer scientists and start thinking, well, more like librarians.
The process is called disambiguation, and it's literally the exact opposite of ambiguity. It's the art of making your meaning perfectly, 100% crystal clear. Just like a librarian puts a very specific label on every book so you can find exactly the one you're looking for, we need to do the same thing with our information online.
And look, this isn't just some nice-to-have idea. The experts in this field, people like Alexander Rodrigues Silva, will tell you that getting rid of ambiguity isn't just a step. It's the essential first step. You just can't build anything solid on a confusing, wobbly foundation.
So what's the librarian's secret weapon for doing this? It's called a taxonomy. And you can honestly just think of it as the Dewey Decimal System, but for your website. Instead of having a messy junk drawer of information, you create a clear, organized system. You do it by setting rules that define exactly what each term means.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Librarians, the Dewey Decimal System, it sounds a little dated, right? How does this old idea actually apply to the incredibly complex technology that powers a search engine like Google?
Let's connect all the dots right here. The goal of search is simple: information retrieval. We want to find stuff. We've established that the biggest obstacle in the way is ambiguity. So the methodical solution, the way we apply these library principles online, is a strategy called Semantic SEO.
And here's the wild part. Search engines are already trying to be the world's greatest librarian. They build these absolutely massive things called knowledge graphs, which are these giant interconnected webs of trillions of ideas and how they all relate. Their goal is basically to map out all of human knowledge.
This all leads us to the most important question of all. What does any of this mean for you? For anyone who's putting content out there on the internet, it means everything, because it's all about connecting with your user.
See, every single search that happens has a purpose, what we call intent. Someone might just be looking for an answer, right? That's informational. They could just be trying to get to a specific site, like typing YouTube. That's navigational. Or maybe they're doing research before they buy something, commercial investigation. And then there's transactional, when they're ready to click Add to Cart. Every search has a job to do.
And this is where it all clicks into place. When you make your content perfectly clear, when you strip out that ambiguity, you're not just making some algorithm happy. You are perfectly aligning what you have to say with what a real human being is actually trying to find. You're giving them exactly what they need.
So let's bring it all home. Let's think of this as the final exam for your website, your blog, whatever digital project you're working on.
The good news is, the actual workflow here is surprisingly simple. It's a three-step process. First, you define your subject. What are you an expert in? What's your thing? Second, you build your taxonomy. Those are your rules of the road. And finally, you use those rules to create content where the meaning is always crystal clear.
So, at the end of the day, the secret to being understood by Google isn't about gaming some complex algorithm. It's not a technical trick. It's about being a great communicator.
If you want the machines to understand you, you have to first make yourself exceptionally, unambiguously clear to other people.
And so I'll leave you with this question to really chew on. When you look at what you've put out into the world online, have you built an organized, easy-to-navigate library where people can find exactly what they need? Or is it just a pile of information? The answer to that question changes everything.